My mother-in-law tried to sneak into the delivery room during my labor, and it was a total disaster. So, I was about to have my first baby with my husband, Mark. I was really excited, but also really nervous. We had everything planned, just me, Mark, and my mom in the delivery room. That was our plan, and I made it clear to everyone, especially Mark's mom, who I'll call Carol. Now, Carol, she's one of those mothers. You know the type. She's super involved in everything, wants to have a say in all of Mark's life decisions, and thinks she's entitled to be at the center of every milestone. But I wanted it to be a private, intimate experience. I told Carol a million times. We're keeping it small, just the two of us and my mom. She was not happy about it, but I thought she'd eventually accept it. The day I went into labor, I was in full-on panic mode, trying to breathe through contractions, and Mark was with me every step of the way. But then, about 2 hours in, Carol showed up. I couldn't believe it. I was in labor, trying to focus, and there she was, standing in the doorway of my room, smiling like she had just walked into a family reunion. She was holding flowers, wearing a Best Grandma Ever t-shirt, and ready to take a seat by my bed. I'm talking, just waltzing in like it was no big deal. I'm on the bed, panting, and I looked up to see her standing there. I couldn't even process what was happening. "Carol, what are you doing here?" I asked, barely holding it together. She smiled and said, "Well, Mark told me you'd be in the room soon, so I thought I'd just come to be supportive." Mark was horrified, and before he could say anything, Carol just moved toward the bed. That's when I snapped. "No, Carol! I told you this is supposed to be a private moment. I don't want you here." I was screaming at this point, just trying to manage the pain and her complete disrespect. But the insanity didn't stop there. Carol wasn't backing down. She said, "I'm the grandma. It's my right to be in the room when my grandchild is born." She literally started trying to walk past the nurse, who was blocking the door, saying, "I'll just wait until you're done then, but I want to see my grandbaby first." The nurse, bless her heart, was having none of it. She told Carol she couldn't be in the room, but Carol started arguing with her. She was even like, "I've raised children too! I know what I'm doing!" As if that made any sense. At this point, I'm screaming, Mark is sweating bullets, and my mom is on the phone telling Carol to leave. The nurse had to call security to escort her out of the hospital, and, as she was leaving, she screamed, "You'll regret this! I should have been in there." When I finally delivered our baby, it was just Mark, my mom, and me, and it was peaceful. I felt so much better having it the way we'd planned. But the best part? Afterward, Carol tried to come back in, but the hospital had already put her on the do not allow list. Carol tried to guilt trip Mark afterward, calling him non-stop about how she was hurt and disrespected. She even sent us a text that said, "I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, but you'll realize one day that you can't keep me out of everything." It's been a few months, and Carol still brings it up, every chance she gets. But honestly, I don't feel bad. It was my labor and my experience. I made the decision that was best for me and my baby.